Let's do this. All set. I had an antidote to kick things off, but I forgot what it was now. Oh, what was I going to tell you? It was definitely something hilarious and worthwhile.
Mm.
Mm.
Well, you are listening to WAAX. I'm your co-host, Teddy Lendgrass, and alongside me, that's your cue. I was going to pause
Oh,
for the
sorry.
call sign, but it's too late now.
Oh, well, I thought you were introducing me. I thought this was a whole thing you had written.
There's a handoff. We fumbled the handoff.
We fumbled the handoff. You half gave me a heads up. I thought you were saying alongside me is my partner in crime, and you were gonna like give a whole intro, and then I was gonna come in and be like, hey, here I am, ready to rock it on the ones and twos.
It's the first time we're doing it live.
Do it live.
It'll get sharper. It'll get sharper. We're gonna show the radio stations how it's supposed to be done.
Oh yeah. Anyway, I'm Matt, and we are here to talk about probably our second to last Dazzler issue.
Yeah, this is Uncanny X-Men number 260. Gotta be honest, didn't really like this one. I mean, it's weird because it made me laugh, but at the same time, I really wasn't feeling this one.
Yeah, I liked it. I thought this one was fun.
It's an interest. I think part of me was a little annoyed because it felt like this was a story that we'd already done with Dazzler. And it was like, oh man, another one of these,
That's fair.
another Stalker special one. But it is what it is. It's fine, I guess. Just my personal choice, my personal taste, rather. I was like, I don't care for this one. But there were times that it did make me chuckle. So I can't talk too much about it, but it felt rehashed. It felt redone.
I see what you're saying, and I don't necessarily disagree. But like, here's the thing about that is there aren't a ton of people who read Dazzler necessarily, and this might be for a lot of people who are reading X-Men the first time they've run into this story.
Sure. Yeah.
Because it has happened a lot in Dazzler, but I don't know if we said it. We're reading Uncanny X-Men number 260, written by Chris Claremont, penciled by Mark Silvestri, inked by Dan Green, with Glennis Oliver on colors and Tom Orzechowski on letters. It's a real murderer's row of X-Men classic talent. But yeah, to people who weren't reading the Dazzler solo, who just knew Dazzler from X-Men, this may have been a more interesting story.
That's fair. And this one starts with a literal bang or a blam.
Starts with a blam.
In a mansion in the Hollywood
We should give a
Hills.
little bit of a backstory here, a little bit of lead up. We should say this is right after the X-Men have walked through the Siege Perilous, which means that for those of you who have not read late 80s X-Men, they have no real memories of who they are. They're kind of starting new lives. Dazzler washed up on shore with no real memories, and we'll get into that in a little bit. But they're all kind of starting fresh. Forge he had a dream that Storm was alive, so he believes they're all alive. So he's kind of linked up with Banshee, and they're on a around the world trek to track down the X-Men who they believe are alive, even though the world thinks they're dead. And that's where we are.
Yeah. We check back in with Forge and Banshee, I think maybe 5, 6, 7 pages in. They do get a little bit of time in this story as well.
Which is the only reason I brought them up, because it's irrelevant to the Dazzler stuff.
Yeah, to pop right back into where you were basically summarizing where their story had gone.
Yeah, exactly. Just in case you pick up this issue and you read along with us, that's why Banshee and Forge are hanging out. So, but anyway, we start, as you were saying, with a big old blam.
Someone's mansion in the Hollywood Hills. Gotcha. Bang, Dazzler, you're dead. So
it is Dazzler just getting shot in the chest through a scope. We are just looking through the sights of a sniper scope. And she's in her blue, what is at the time modern outfit, just taking a bullet right in the chest.
It all looks a little unnatural, and we see later, well, not later, just the next page in, there's a It's a dude all geared up. I didn't recognize him at
No,
all. He resembles nothing of who he's revealed to be later on here.
I
But
kind of love it.
he's standing there with a rifle, a pump action rifle, which okay, and asking just himself, "Who's next?" And he's looking around. I guess he's got a bunch of cardboard cutouts of Dazzler,
I don't
and
even think they're cardboard cutouts. They're full 3D mannequins.
yeah, in different stages of her career, wearing different outfits. And he just kind of this rifle. I guess he kind of unloads full auto within his
Oh
home,
yeah.
just wrecking not only the targets but likely the walls around his home. There's something wrong with this dude. He's clearly unhinged. Come on, come on. Don't be bashful. Step right up. Be first in line to be slaughtered. And he's starts laughing maniacally in the mess that is some room in his home with a bunch of mannequins, like at least a 20-foot wall with Dazzler's picture adorned all
Just
over. It's
a full wall
plastered.
collage.
Yeah.
I love that he laughs maniacally, then takes a moment to sniff some cocaine, then continues, then coughs a little bit. Primo Snow, serious buzz. Wow.
Show the world. Top of the world, ma. So right away, I will tip my hat to Chris Claremont briefly. He knows how to write someone who's completely off the rails.
Oh, just or on the rails. On
Hey,
so many rails.
hey, you got it. You got it.
Guy is coked out of his gourd.
Yeah.
Then he starts screaming, "Look at me now. Show that muty witch in particular. You love Eric Beale. And leave him, you pay the price." As he throws two ninja stars into a couple more Dazzler mannequins and reveals himself to be Eric Beale from Dazzler the movie? What a pull.
This cokehead has exceptional aim.
It's out of control.
Throwing stars are pretty tough to master, I would think, because
I would think.
you can't really throw them the way that you would throw like a baseball or something like that, and you can't throw them like a frisbee. So I don't know. This guy's really taken some time to master his abilities. This wannabe Punisher, and he's got like I guess a topless mannequin of Dazzler that he
Oh yeah.
kicks a hole through her chest.
Yeah,
And
right through the gut.
and throws a live grenade in his home.
Oh yeah. Oh, he's completely lost it.
So this place has to be pretty massive too for him to be able to do this safely and just
I mean, he was
keep
very
walking,
rich.
keep training. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah,
He
that's
was
fair.
very, very rich.
But you think, some people they get rich, they get an indoor theater. Some people get an indoor bowling alley. He just got a demo room, I guess, filled with Dazzler mannequins that he's free to blow up and dress up in outfits that we've never seen before, like this, I guess, red corset and gloves up to the elbows with some red stiletto shoes. It's racy.
It's
And
definitely something reserved for, Paul, Dr. Paul, maybe.
yeah,
Something that Ken Barnett may have glimpsed in his time.
yeah, maybe Ken got a look, maybe Roman, but you wouldn't have thought. But he's tripping balls. He's
Oh,
talking to
I
this.
have a feeling that ever since Dazzler destroyed that movie on his desk, he has done nothing but try to get to the bottom of a mountain of cocaine.
Cocaine is a hell of a drug.
He
I
is,
think that that's been his life's goal ever since that one moment.
yeah. He's worked up a lather, and I guess he finishes his training exercise by beheading one of the mannequins, just trying to like
The
fake it
sexy
out like
one,
he's
too.
gonna kiss it. Yeah, and then off with its head. Now, tee, it's payback time. It's pretty impressive with how just off the just completely nuts he is. It's fun.
It's a bleak picture of a man.
Yeah.
It is rough.
Yeah. You wouldn't think someone that wealthy would let one person get under his skin that bad, but that's just that's probably Alison's secondary mutation, where she just sends people into either frenzies or near comatose states.
It is, yeah, it's rough. But then quickly we cut to Malibu just off the coast where we're picking up from the previous issue, which wasn't really like a full Dazzler issue, so we're not reading it for this podcast. But Dazzler was found on the beach by our old friend, who will be revealed in just a moment, Fred. Fred's back from Dazzler the movie.
Yeah, remember Freddy, that guy who's in Dazzler the movie for all of 3 pages?
The guy who's kind of was sad and pathetic.
The guy who admitted Dazzler could lift more than he could.
Well, he's back. And somehow, which was revealed last issue also, this isn't like some big reveal, he found a copy of Dazzler the movie that Allie hadn't destroyed, and they're watching it in some Malibu mansion screening room.
I like to think this is like Freddy's home. Like the pep talk that Dazzler gave him, I don't know, he went into business or something, or he started to carry himself with more confidence, got himself a real nice job, bought himself a pretty big home with an indoor theater. Like he's the other side of the coin of the sicko who's got a whole room dedicated to Dazzler, firing at him, at her, setting off live grenades. Freddie was just like, you know what? Let me just get an indoor theater. I was also kind of tickled about Freddie's look because he looks like a grown version of Charlie Brown, and I think I think they just made his sweater red so that people didn't get mixed up. But he definitely has that signature Charlie Brown. Was it little zigzag across the middle of his sweater?
Yeah, yeah. And also Guido's here. Strong guy. Don't worry about it too much, but he's here and he's got a real thick New York accent.
Yeah, I was wondering, was Strong Guy in the Siege storyline? I didn't think it was.
No, I mean, he'd been introduced. This isn't like his first appearance or anything, but he was a minor background character. He was a bodyguard for Lila Cheney for a long time.
Because I was wondering how he wound up in Malibu, just working at this dude's house.
Honestly, I forget, but it's not super important, and I didn't go back and look it up. But he's there too. He's working the projector for some reason. Gotta love Strong Guy.
He's working the projector and he's honest. When Alison wonders what he thinks, he said, "Well, you ain't no Meryl Streep legs, but I gotta confess, I'd pay money to see it."
I love that he calls her legs.
It's a good nickname.
Yeah. And so Dazzler just goes like, "No, okay. I guess this movie's pretty good if Guido likes it. Okay, I'm going surfing. Bye."
Yeah. She's like, you got a winner, Fred. He's like, "Well, wait, it's your movie. I just found it." She's like, "Ah, that wasn't me. It's another life."
How casual she is about it. Just like, yeah, I guess that was me, but I don't remember it. So okay, I'm going surfing.
Yeah. Also, like the bodysuit, body glove logo on her hip.
Oh yeah.
With this skin tight surfer suit. I should have looked it up because it sounds kind of familiar, but I don't know.
It is real.
Yeah, okay. Because I feel like I'd seen it somewhere before, that brand body glove, but I wasn't sure if it was like actually on surfer suits. It may have just been something I remember from being real little. Because this issue
it is real. That's totally a real thing. And yeah, so Allie goes surfing and Fred wants to sell the movie and make it a success, but Allie doesn't have any memories or cares. So she just kind of goes out into the ocean, and then all of a sudden she's found in the crosshair yet again. But this time it's real Dazzler and not, mannequin Dazzler. And we cut to Eric Beale on some cliff some distance away. There she is. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. And he's got red, just wired eyes. He's sweating, got those cocaine sweats. Oh, Eric Beale is a shadow of a man.
That is it's a perfect image of someone who is coked up and enraged. I mean, apart from the sweat, I think they could have made it a little bit more translucent. The sweat looks a little like some
it's
dry lotion.
Don't worry about it.
It looks like dry lotion, or almost like a little There's something about Mary vibe to that sweat.
Oh, a little bit.
But that's neither here nor there. He lines up the shot. He's taking aim. He's arguing with himself. Where to place the bullet? Decisions, decisions. Gut shot, so it's slow and agonizing. Or a headshot. Instant obliteration.
It's a dark issue when you think about it.
Yeah, he's deep in this just psychosis. And Dazzler just sits up right on time. Swell's shifting. Good waves coming. Right in time for the bullet to just plop harmlessly into the ocean.
Plop.
She moves.
He misses, and I love that. I love the image of Guido barreling out of the house. Yo, kid. Yo, stand a check. Yo, get her out of the water now. Ain't you got ears? Up on a headland, you maroon, a sniper. He just hears that sniper, knows immediately what it is.
I can hear the New York in Guido's.
I love the way it's written. It's
pretty
perfect.
Good.
Yeah. It's a perfect accent. And apparently Eric Beale keeps trying to shoot her as she's riding waves in a big old swell. Can't hit her. Yo, Allie. Guido's shouting at her. And yeah, she just won't get hit. Apparently Eric hits the surfboard out from under her.
Yeah,
which causes her to go flying up in the air. She does a backflip while he's getting angry, so he's switching over to full auto. He looks back through his scope, sees her staring directly at him with her finger guns pointed forward. What a move.
While she's in midair. So she's
midair from a surfboard explosion.
Upside down. You got to figure maybe a mile away, probably, because she couldn't hear the sounds of the gunshot over the waves, but still managed to recognize, okay, someone broke my board with a projectile, because she didn't hear any of the gunshots, or maybe she heard Guido. I don't know. It's not super clear.
It's not clear.
It all happens real quick. Bang, bang, bang.
Yeah. Dazzler fires a laser at the same moment.
Yeah, I guess that last bang being more of a zap or a zark.
Yeah, bang, zark. They're the exact same trajectory. So Dazzler's laser moves at the speed of light, faster than a bullet. So even though the trigger's pulled, she fires a laser up the barrel of the sniper rifle, which explodes the bullet in the chamber and kind of blows up Eric Beale. What a move.
Heart out, Kevin Costner.
What a move.
Crazy trick shot.
Dramatic.
And then Dazzler, hits the wave and careens into the land.
Then Strong Guy, like when he was running out, then he just kind of reminds you of, what's his name? Kingpin from the, what's it? Spider-Man Into the
a little bit.
His measurements, or at least his proportions, very resembling of that.
I can see it. I have to say, though, throughout, I love Mark Silvestri's art. I love it. I think it looks great. This is in the period where Silvestri and Jim Lee were trading off issues because the X-Men was shipping twice a month. And I know Jim Lee gets all this acclaim. I like Mark Silvestri's work more. I think Silvestri was just hitting it out of the park issue after issue. And you can feel the movement to his images. Jim Lee made very pretty poses, but they all felt like static poses to me. And Silvestri really, like, the action. Yeah, I love Silvestri's art here.
Yeah, all the characters have very different looks.
They have different faces. They're expressive.
Yeah. I mean, I guess the best way to describe it is, with a lot of the Dazzler series we were reading, a lot of the female faces looked like they were just kind of interchangeable.
Oh, yeah.
And quite a few of like the male faces did as well when they were, I guess, heroes. They all kind of had a similar facial structure. I mean, same deal with the women. But this story, it's a small sample size, but everybody's got a very distinct look. You can't really get anyone mixed up with anyone else.
Yeah, exactly. I love it. I think Silvestri does a killer job. But anyway, Fred dives into the water to fish Dazzler out because the wave had kind of battered her around, and Guido just comes in and grabs them both. They all go inside. Dazzler, she regains consciousness basically, and she's super cool about this whole thing. Just like, and her plan, because the sniper escaped after the explosion. She doesn't know it's Eric Beale. She wouldn't remember who Eric Beale was if she did. It doesn't really matter. But after the gun exploded, he escaped. So Allie basically says, "Well, then I'm just going to become a public target. Let's go sell that movie, and we'll bring him to us instead of trying to find him."
I'm all yours, Fred. Make me a star. I guess this is also Alison's house too. They mentioned that, or Fred's surprise, he mentions that, "Oh, Allie, your house talks." When it actually marked the explosion of the detonation when she fired back. And it was, I mean, it's all not important because we never come back to this house again, I don't think.
Yeah, not in this issue.
It's just really, oh, okay. That's just the thing. Alison lives on the coast of Malibu. She's got a real nice house. It talks. Maybe it's something left over from the Roman days. Maybe we'll never know.
Guido wears the tuxedo and works for her, apparently.
Yeah.
Great stuff.
But meanwhile,
meanwhile, we cut to Manhattan, and honestly, for the sake of this podcast, I'll summarize it very quickly, but it just doesn't matter for the scope of what we're talking about here today. These are like 3 pages of Colossus, who, again, Siege Perilous, no memories. He's become an artist. He's calling himself Peter Nicholas, which, sure, man. And he keeps painting this woman who he helped rescue from a gang that was attacking her. And then he looked up and the gang had all put on masks of the X-Men to attack. And then some other person helped defend Colossus. And that's pretty much it. It just, there's more going on and it's interesting in like the larger scope, but it just doesn't matter for our podcast here today.
Yeah. The gang was imitating X-Men. This dude came to help. Looks his costume is like reminiscent of Bastion's, but it's just
a little bit
some dude or androgynous looking hero.
Yeah. I'm kind of confused.
Don't really know who they are. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's Jenny. I haven't read this era of X-Men in a little bit, so I forget exactly where this goes, but it doesn't matter for today. We're going to cut back to Baron Fox Studios in Hollywood. And here we have Dazzler and Fred trying to go sell the movie. And that's pretty much all that's happening in this scene. And the studio's instantly into it, which, great, super realistic Hollywood story.
Because the more important part happens right after that, and it's the costume montage. It's the costume montage.
Before that, we get another failed assault attempt by Eric Beale. I guess from his old days, he just has access to movie studios. Fine. And the head exec of, where are we? Baron Fox Studios takes them on a little tour. They're walking through a Western town. And here's where the real Claremont comedy kicks in. Eric Beale's waiting behind a corner, pulls a gun. Nobody even sees him. And all of a sudden, the director comes over and says, "Hey, that's a totally wrong costume and totally wrong prop. What's going on? Casting's losing their mind. We got to get this guy dressed up." And all of a sudden, there's a whole contingent of wardrobe people surrounding Eric Beale, dressing him up like a cowboy. Action is called. He gets punched in the face. Everybody thinks he's an extra. Oh, what a laugh we had.
Yeah, Claremont liked Looney Tunes, and I can't fault him for that. I love Looney Tunes as well. It's a very Looney Tunes-esque scene.
100% it is. That is exactly what that is.
It also kind of like it waters down. I mean, I kind of appreciate that it keeps the story from getting too dark, because like you were mentioning, when he's talking about the different spots to target her while she was just sitting on the ocean, it's kind of iffy there.
Yeah. they keep going. Like we said, the studio's instantly into this. They take Dazzler into hair and makeup, get her all made up for a photo shoot. They also get Eric Beale into makeup. He gets stuck again, can't pull his gun and shoot her. He's too busy getting assaulted by hairstylists. Again, very Looney Tunes. And then Dazzler goes on a costume montage. We get the classic Dazzler costume montage. Hooray!
To Sandra Dee, to Grace Kelly, to MTV. Just flat out too much. And then they finally land on just about perfect.
Which is very similar to what she was wearing when she walked in. Not in color. It's just green instead of black.
Right. I mean, I guess it's a gown or some kind of dress, but yeah, not very different. Big diamond earrings in each ear. You feel like those are got to be weighing you down. But I mean, I guess she walked in with those.
She did. Those were hers. And as she finishes and leaves, the hairstylist finish on Eric Beale. He is now groomed and looks like he belongs in a barbershop quartet.
Yeah, I was going to go with Dick Dastardly with his hat off.
That works too.
Because he's got the little twirls to his mustache.
He definitely does. Real old-timey handlebar mustache.
Yeah, it also looks kind of like he's lost his buzz. His eyes aren't as bloodshot anymore.
Yeah, it seems to be coming down a little bit. Oh, Eric Beale, what a character you are. And then we cut to Kyranos, half a world away, sun-washed speck set in Homer's wine dark sea. Ah, Claremont, you just wax poetic.
That was a cool description. So
It is a cool description. I love Claremont.
Let you know that there's somewhere in the, I guess, Mediterranean.
I absolutely love Claremont, and this is some of the best X-Men ever. I love this era, the Outback Siege Perilous era. Great stuff. I'm just saying Claremont loves using 6 words when 2 will work. That's all. Love him. Great storyteller. Just saying it's a little wordy.
So Banshee and Forge are shooting the a little bit.
I love the duo of Banshee and Forge.
It's definitely an odd couple. It's not a pair you'd think you'd see very often.
But it's great.
It works. It works.
They're heading to Egypt, apparently, because I think they're trying to find Storm, who they think is in Cairo, but she's actually in Cairo, Illinois, because so they're heading to Egypt. This is in the era where Forge was in love with Storm and was doing everything he could do to track her down.
That's gonna be a hell of a conversation after they have to turn around, right? Like, Forge, get your story straight, or get your damn. How do you mix that up in your dream? Oh, I saw Cairo in a dream on a green, like like the road signs, a green road sign. It's like, wait, so was it in the United States? The only Cairo I know is in Egypt. It's like, but you said you read it in English. Why
Here's the thing. I love Forge. I love Claremont. Claremont also was prone to using some stereotypes. So Forge, despite being, Mr. Great with Machines guy, also is a Native American mystic and found these signs while on a spirit walk. So there's a little bit of eye-rolly confusion, I guess, we're allowed to have with this whole thing.
At least he didn't incorporate peyote. Give him a little.
No, none of that. None of that. I gotta say, I love Banshee's all khaki explorer outfit too.
Yeah, that's that side of him made me think a lot of. You remember the Metal Gear games?
Oh,
like
yeah,
one of the Master Miller or someone from Special Ops who would give Snake orders.
Oh yeah. But it's just khaki on khaki. And they're talking about, Banshee's in love with Moira. We're about to get into a lot of the Muir Island saga stuff. So Moira's been acting a little weird, but we're just getting hints. Doesn't matter for this. We're all good. But they're about to get on a plane to Cairo when the pilot hands Banshee a People magazine with Allie on the front. And they were kind of going blind to Cairo, so this is really a better lead, they realize. So they just go, oh, no thanks, pilot lady, who has a name but doesn't really matter here, so I can't remember it. Uh, Scylla?
Scylla.
Scylla?
Scylla.
Weird name.
I think it's probably short for Priscilla
Ah, makes sense.
because it's Cylla.
Yeah, that makes sense. So they tell Scylla, no, you keep on doing your cargo trip to Cairo. We're actually heading to Hollywood, apparently. So Scylla takes her plane up and immediately explodes. Just
Move on
so
to
fast.
Then move on to Cairo. Glory! Because he's Scottish. So I guess he screams, Glory! Like,
Irish, come
oh,
on.
he's Irish? Oh, I thought Banshee was Scottish.
Nope.
No.
All this
Forge
time.
calls him Irish.
All this time. So mistaken. The next island over.
They call him Irish all the time. It's like, folks change. Irish. Fact of life.
Yeah, that shows how much attention I pay to Banshee.
We'll be honest.
To be quite honest.
First of all, I love Banshee. This is not a Banshee podcast. I could do a Banshee podcast. I love Banshee. Banshee is an Irishman who loves country music. In Giant Size X-Men #1, when Xavier's going around the world recruiting all his new international team, goes to Canada to get Wolverine, goes to Germany to get Nightcrawler. Where does he go to pick up Banshee? Oh, is it the Grand Ole Opry in Nashville? Yes, it is. Banshee's just touring the Grand Ole Opry.
The most I know about Banshee is he's got a daughter who's basically got his code name.
Yep.
And he's got a family member, was it his cousin or his brother,
Yep.
Black Tom?
Yep. Black Tom? You mean Juggernaut's husband?
Yeah, who they just nullify each other's powers. So they got that Havoc and Cyclops thing going on.
Yep.
Where they basically just have to fist fight because their powers don't work on each other.
Oh, and also leprechauns live in his castle in Ireland, Cassidy Keep. It's great.
Jesus. Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of leaning into those stereotypes.
I know. He's got some leprechauns living in the walls. Don't worry about it too much.
Pot of gold in his kitchen too.
They pop up over once in a while. But anyway, plane blows up. We cut to the creepiest twins ever. The Struckers, Andrea and Andreas von Strucker, in the skimpiest bathing suits, holding hands. I mean, I guess their powers only work when they hold hands, but they gotta love the Struckers. Fun incest Nazis, the Struckers.
I mean, if you're talking about keeping things pure, doesn't get much purer than that.
Yeah, I guess so.
Keeping it all in the family. Incestuous little
So gross. They blow up every piece of debris that's falling, pour themselves another glass of champagne, and relax on their yacht as we cut back to Malibu, at which point I think it's time to compress our file so far.
Yep. And we will be right back.
Okay, so we're back on the beaches of Malibu. Dazzler in a stunning ball gown is just walking down the beach, down from the Malibu Pier, where they have a very nice restaurant. And, she's just kind of walking, thinking, what's going on? Whose memories? Who filmed this? Why don't I remember making this movie? I don't know if I care. Why don't I care? Is that bad? Should I care? I don't have any memories. And after all this, my unknown assailant hasn't popped out of the woodwork at all. And as she thinks that, due to sitcom timing, he, dressed as a police officer riding a dune buggy down the beach, clubs her in the back of the head.
This is a funny page. This is a funny page. I had a lot of questions. Well, not a lot of questions. I had a couple very sharp questions about this page. First question: why are you walking down the beach at night in a long like a dinner gown, like a ballroom gown? This isn't a beach dress.
Well, no, but the premiere of Dazzler the movie is this night, and presumably that's what she was planning on wearing.
And she's walking down the beach to this premiere. This is it's just funny. The other thing is, like, homie clearly just took this police outfit from set design or from wardrobe.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And I also want to know where you got this dune buggy.
I don't know, but I love it. I love this tricycle dune buggy.
Like, this is pretty good. And then also, how'd you not hear him coming? Is this dune buggy? Is this an electric dune buggy? How do you not? Dune buggies are pretty loud.
Maybe it has the same technology as Flame's motorcycle.
Oh, oh,
You don't know.
that's some tech there. Yeah, maybe.
Flame's silent motorcycle.
I also like the fact that Dazzler lets out a ow before she passes out.
Mhm.
Usually when you hit somebody in the back of the head hard enough to knock them out, they usually don't. They're usually just out. There's usually not enough time for them to yell
Oh no,
out.
left him with enough time to yell "ow."
But yeah, she is sound asleep as he's standing over her, not too shabby. But wait till you wake up, honey bunch. Then you'll see some primo stars. You can see him wiping his nose, probably getting the extra booger sugar that he had in his mustache.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, little leftovers. You know what I
Eric
mean?
Beale has fallen so hard. Then we cut to Dazzler, the premiere of Dazzler the movie over in Westwood, which is a fair distance from Malibu. You think if she was planning on going to the premiere, she'd be a little closer.
She wouldn't be walking down the beach in a gown. Yeah.
Probably not. No. But yeah, we've got the premiere. Oh, there's Roman Nakoba. And they spelled it wrong in this, what is presumably his final appearance.
Is it spelled wrong, or did he legally change his name? Or
Tough to tell.
one letter of his last name, or Kobo. Yeah, it was OH, right? Yeah,
It was OH.
yeah.
I do wonder if it's intentional, like his stars fall, because it says there's Roman Nakoba. Who?
Yeah.
Like they
Yeah.
might have gotten it wrong intentionally, and it might be a joke to how they constantly got it wrong in the Dazzler solo series.
You know, I kind of like to think too, to play on that. Maybe it was at a point where kind of like you're his fallen star, I guess, note like you were talking about. Maybe
Yeah.
giving that a little credence where like, well, people keep calling me Roman Nakoba over and over. I may as well just change my name to Nakoba so that people will, actually get my name right and actually get me, the attention I deserve. But then only to find out that, oh no, that didn't matter, buddy. They just don't really remember your name at all.
Yeah. Yeah, I like to think that it's intentional, both in universe, like you were saying, and as a little jab to them getting it wrong a few years back in Dazzler the movie. But anyway, he's walking down the red carpet. It's just a little Roman cameo, and it's a good callback for one panel of Roman. It's
Yeah.
kind of funny. He's got white hair now, and that's it. He just has like two lines. But then we cut back to where Eric Beale has Dazzler tied up and with a burlap sack tied over her head.
Well,
It's
like
dark.
that and like this massive room in his home, he's got live surveillance of Stanachek or Fred Stanachek, who's at the premiere waiting. And he's like,
I assumed that this was such a big premiere that they were doing like live TV coverage, and he just had it projected on his wall.
and whoever the cameraman was just like, hey, look at this sad guy here. Let's
Yeah.
give him a little screen time for a while.
Yeah, exactly. Look at Stanchek looking at his watch, waiting for Dazzler to show up. And yeah, so Eric has fallen completely off the deep end again. Ain't you a sight for sore eyes? Blurf, glorg. Yeah. Ticket to ride. Won't be long before I splash that sleek, skin-tight silver. All nicely nice with scarlet. Yum. Oh, yeah. Also, when she was passed out, dressed her in her silver disco outfit, complete with roller skates.
Oh, man. I do like her thought process here, though. She's kind of like that. She's thinking the way I would imagine Batman thinks, where it's like one voice, man's totally irrational. Head feels like a blown up balloon. Actually, she's full on like Frank Castle monologuing in her head.
100% she is.
This is how Frank Castle talks to himself.
I like to think that this is like all her Wolverine training. She can't remember it, but it's subconsciously just coming into play.
That's a nice one too.
Because this could be how Wolverine hunts,
Right. Yeah. So,
And yeah.
I mean, this whole page is just nuts. Like,
It's nuts.
After she's thinking, he walks up. She's got like a stocking cap on her head, but it's I guess there's some pretty thick pantyhose. He grabs the top. I loved you, songbird. Laid my world, my heartache, and my heart at your feet. But that wasn't enough for you. It's like, what? When did this all happen, man? You weren't.
Yeah, I
This is the
don't. I mean,
wrong.
he did hit on her.
Yeah, you're very much misremembering. That was the other guy who was completely this delusional in this way.
Yeah, but I mean, I guess he hit on her. I don't think they were. I don't think he loved her ever. I don't think
He
that ever really happened.
Yeah, because remember at the end of the movie, he was like trying to blackmail her into like working exclusively for him, but it was kind of, I mean, it had the creepy undertones to it, but it wasn't, there was no outpouring of affection. It was just like,
No.
hey, you belong to me now. You're gonna work for all my productions.
Oh yeah, it was a display of power more than anything else.
Right. Yeah.
You are mine now. You belong to me.
But I do like that he lifts her up by the head bag, and she laser eyes him right through the bag, fires him backwards, and punches holes in the bag so she can see now. Got him. And then she's a little confused why she's in roller skates because she doesn't have any memories of this.
Yeah, that seems really like that disco suit seems really cumbersome to try to
Oh,
put
yeah.
somebody in if they're knocked out.
Oh
'Cause
yeah.
it's not like separate pants. You're trying to put like you got kids. Is your guy wearing onesies yet? Or did you guys like no, we're skipping the onesies.
No, he's already like out of onesies. That was like really early. Now he's into shirts and pants.
Okay. Because
The onesies are a pain, but also kind of nice with diapers.
yeah. But I mean, you're talking about someone who's a fraction of your size versus a giant limp body that you have to squeeze into this thing. And it's not like
100%.
it's not like it's baggy. This is
Oh
skin
no,
tight.
skin tight, skin tight.
But yeah, Dazzler, she shoots the holes in their, stocking mask, and she gets what has to be a horrifying view of just a serial killer's dungeon with a
Oh
bunch
yeah,
of mannequins that look like her.
this room, the walls, pictures and mannequins of me. I mean, I don't blame her for being weirded out.
Yeah. Well, he springs back to his feet. Ain't no getting rid of Eric Beale that easy. No siree, Bob. Give a man enough hate, code name for cocaine, and be amazed at what he can do.
I love that he says that Eric Beale is waiting for a reaction. She's just like, I have no memories of this. You are nothing. I have no memories.
It's full on Korath. Who?
Yeah. What
Eric.
is happening?
Eric Beale. I tried to blackmail you. I twisted a Roman Jacobo against you. Your longtime lover. He was actually just working for me the whole time.
I
don't
got
remember
nothing.
him.
No memories.
Don't remember him either, buddy.
Nope, nothing going on. But he reveals that Allie's probably out of juice at this point. Pretty near empty. No ambient sounds around. And then he gets close. Well, she kicks him in the face first, but then he gets close.
Think about that.
The roller skate kick.
Yeah. She
Yeah.
partially blinds him and then kicks him in the face wearing roller skates, likely her metal roller skates. And he just shakes it off like a champ.
Oh yeah.
I am invincible! Invincible!
And then he takes out a katana or a machete. It's kind of hard to tell. I think it's a katana. Which, sure. And she realizes that she doesn't have enough power to fight him, but she might be able to generate some of her soothing lights. And so she does, and she hypnotizes him into sanity. And then the issue ends.
Yep, she gets him with the Hulk trick and just reduces him to just a blubbering mass. No more, please. No more. Back of you. More than I can bear. I never imagined it was possible. Behold, such glory to feel so. And I guess he's just feeling an overwhelming sense of warmth and being at peace. And she lets him know it's only the first step down the road, Eric. The rest of the way you'll have to go on your own. And she's crying, I guess, tears of relief or just kind of touched by his outpouring of emotion. It's just an odd look while he's there cradling her knees.
Yep.
Also, probably kind of hard for her to stand up. She's still wearing roller skates.
Still wearing roller skates, arms tied behind her back, head still in a bag.
He's basically kind of like tackle hugging her. So,
but that's it. That's how we end this issue.
It's such a weird trip, man.
It's so weird.
It had its moments. The Dune Buggy knockout was classic. I liked the Dune Buggy knockout. That was fun.
I just love that Claremont picked up on these weird pieces of Dazzler's continuity.
Roman's appearance was like, for why, for what? But I guess, if you're going to have a movie premiere, you got to have him shoehorned in there somehow.
Well, and it's Dazzler, the movie. It's his movie.
Yeah. I like the incorporation of Strong Guy. Strong Guy's fun.
Strong Guy is fun until he's a massive homophobe, but that's a Peter David thing.
Oh no. Yikes. Yikes.
I like to think that he's learned the errors of his way and he's a nice guy again.
Yeah, and Fred Stanishek is tolerable this time around.
Gotta love Fred coming back. Yeah, he's got a mission. He's kind of more sure of himself. Allie's kiss really did wonders for him.
Yeah, just turned this dude's whole life around. And
but missing out on Allie's kiss really put Eric down the deep end.
Oh God, it made him a wreck. But like overall, I probably would have enjoyed this more if it were more Banshee and Forge, less Looney Tunes adventure with Alison mixed in.
Banshee and Forge are great. I love that duo.
It's very out of the blue, it feels like, but yeah.
It's super out of the blue.
It works.
Yeah.
I also wish Banshee were Scottish. I feel like that would have been better.
But Banshees are Irish. Like, that's an Irish folklore thing.
I thought Banshees were Scottish.
No.
Huh. Today I learned.
It's all, apparently, well, Banshee in Gaelic, Celtic, in Irish language means female ghost. And Banshee was originally supposed to be female, but also Banshee was originally a bad guy for one issue. And Stan Lee didn't want a group of male superheroes beating up on a woman. So they changed Banshee to male, but didn't change the code name.
Well, apparently both Scottish and Irish folklore have Banshee.
Fair. Okay.
But yeah, primarily in Scottish and Irish folklore. There's a counterpart even in Welsh, but they scream and cry as an omen of death. I guess it's just a UK thing all around.
Yeah, why not?
Maybe not British, but I don't know.
And then we get the letters page at the end, which is always fun because I love that they printed full addresses for people in the back.
Oh, yeah, don't do that anymore.
No.
Jeez.
Just full addresses. Except for one smart person, La Rose Paris, with the last letter where it just says address held by request.
Yeah.
Good job.
Yeah, smart. Like full names too. Full names and
first, last name, full address.
Yeah. It's like, wow.
We got somebody from Pittsburgh, somebody from El Sobrante, California, somebody from Lebanon, Connecticut.
It looks like at least one of them used a box.
Yeah.
Not necessarily their address, but still, bold choice. Bold choice, fans.
Oh, yeah. But that's it. I think next week we'll wrap it up with one final issue of Dazzler before moving on.
Yep. It's a pretty short one. Unlimited X-Men, Volume 1, number 32.
Yeah, so read ahead and join us next week.
Yep. You've been listening to the Almost an X-Man podcast. You can find this podcast wherever you find any other podcast you listen to. I'm not going to go through the examples again because that's free advertising, and we're not about that. But wherever you want to
pay us.
Yeah. But thanks for listening. If you got some questions, you know where to find us.
That is at Dazzler Podcast on Instagram. We're trying to do our best to stay active on there. DazzlerPodcast@gmail.com. Hit us up with any questions you might have, any suggestions for what you want us to cover next. But until next week, when we are covering our X-Men Unlimited issue, go for it.